Hey, it's Melissa from Melissa's Creations. I put together a really fun Halloween card using some of the materials and supplies from the 2016 holiday catalog from Stampin' Up! And I am so excited to show you how I made this card. Here is my sample that I did this morning, and it uses the Spooky Fun Halloween stamp set and the really cool brick wall textured impressions embossing folder. Now I know that typically moons aren't in front of brick walls, but this is just a fun kind of design element. I really wanted something bright up in this corner to complement my tag on this side. We have the little tag with the pumpkins, and I used the layering ovals framelits to do the cutout here, and I used the tag topper punch to get that fun accent at the top, and I used some of the really fun new baker's twine in the holiday catalog. So I'm sure many of you have your catalog already. If you don't, let me know and I can get one out to you. I hope you like the card that I created for you guys. Let's go ahead and head to the craft table and put it together. Hey guys, here is the holiday catalog. I can't show you the inside yet, but most of you have already seen this, and if you haven't yet, on September 1st you'll be able to download a copy of it from my blog, melissascreations.com. Just click on the Shop Now link and scroll down. You'll be able to see the download there. Today I am making this really fun Halloween card using some of the materials out of the holiday catalog for 2016. This is just a really fun trick-or-treat card that you could send out to anybody on your Halloween list. I used some really fun supplies from the new catalog as well as some old favorites from the annual catalog, and I will go over all of those with you right now. One of the things that I used was the Brick Wall Textured Impressions Embossing folder from the annual catalog, seen on page 195. This is such a fun tool that you can use to emboss fun backgrounds and just run it through the Big Shot, and there we go. That's how I created the background on here. So much fun. I also used the Layering Ovals Framelits dies. They are found on page 193 of the annual catalog, and they are great. I used this size here, which I believe is the second smallest, and then I used this one, which I believe is the second smallest out of the scallops. I used the 1 3/8 inch circle punch. Now this is the old style. I haven't upgraded this yet, but it is the 1 3/8 inch circle, and you can find that on page 187. The way that the punches come now are flat, and they have a little clip here that stores them flat for you. The inks we're going to use today, I have the Archival Basic Black stamp pad. I have the Craft stamp pad in Whisper White. And the colors I used are Pumpkin Pie from the Brights, Daffodil Delight from the Brights, and Pool Party from the Subtles. This is one of the products from the holiday catalog, and it is a fun baker's twine with pumpkin pie and basic black wrapped together. So much fun. That's how I made the little tassel on the top of my tag. We don't need very many large blocks. The blocks I'm using today are B and C. And of course we have the stamp set, Spooky Fun. I used the pumpkins, the moon, and the bats, as well as the trick or treat sentiment right here. So many possibilities with this set. It is so much fun to work with. So the materials I have today, I'm starting out with a Smoky Slate background. This is just a piece of regular 8.5 by 11 cut in half at 5.5 and then scored in the middle at 4 1/4. I have a piece of Whisper White for my first mat, and that measures 5 1/4 by 4. And I have already cut and embossed my background with the brick wall embossing folder, and this piece of paper measures 5 by 3 3/4. And I have a piece of the designer series paper that comes in a pack in the Halloween night stack. This is from the new catalog, so again available to customers on September 1st, and this piece measures 4 by 2 inches. And I have a piece of scrap Whisper White that I would use to cut out these pumpkins. I have already done these, but I will show you how I colored them in. And last but not least, I have a scrap piece of the Peekaboo Peach, which I have already pre-cut on the Big Shot using the oval layering framelits dies, one of the scalloped images. The first thing I want to do is get out my Craft Whisper White ink, and I'm going to run it direct to paper onto my brick wall. So there is a side that is slightly more curved than the other. I'm going to use that side, and I'm just going to drag it across that card to get that white brick wash look. Now I'm going to start with my pumpkins and my moon. Now I already have my pumpkins all ready to go, but I wanted to show you how I did that. So I'm going to get out the pumpkins from this fun set. And I am going to mount those on my B block. And I am using the basic black Archival Stampin' pad. Now, I originally stamped this and left it for a few days before I was able to come back to my card. So it had plenty of time to dry, and I would recommend letting it dry a little bit before you watercolor, but I will show you how I did that. So I'm going to bring you guys in a little, and I'm gonna stamp my pumpkins. And you want to make sure that you leave plenty of space around it to cut it out. This might not have enough space, but I can do something with that later. So I am using an aqua painter. This is the first project that I have used the aqua painter on, and I have to say I am loving it. It gives such a quick and fast watercolor look, and it's so easy. So how I achieved that look: I took my classic Stampin' pad in Pumpkin Pie, gave it a couple of firm squeezes, and when you open it, you have a pool of ink to work with. And I just took my aqua painter, filled it up with water, screwed the top back on, and I dripped it in the sink a little bit just until I saw that it was coming out of the brush. So then you just pick up your ink color and you just come right in here and do your coloring. And because it's a watercolor look, you do not need to stay in the lines. Do whatever feels right to you. I personally really do try to stay in the lines. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So the more you use this tool, the better you'll get at it, and you will love your results. To clean it off, you just rub it on a piece of scratch paper or a paper towel, and it will run clear for you. I did like to add a little bit of shading underneath my pumpkins, so I took some Pool Party, picked up that color, and I started in between because that's where I would think that it would be the darkest, and then I just ran it underneath and kind of let it fade out on its own. So then if we were to cut this guy out, I would take one of my ovals and I would just lay it right over the top. You can use any size you'd like. This would probably work because it is very, it's kind of like a snapshot. You see some of it, not all of it. You could use a larger size like this. And again, you'd want to stamp it so that you have plenty of space to cut out. But I already have mine cut out and ready to go. For the accent piece that I put underneath my pumpkins, I used this size, which is the second smallest scallop in the pack. So now I'm going to move on to the moon. So let's grab that out of the stamp set here. And I'm going to mount that onto my C block. And I am using the Daffodil Delight from the Brights. I like to ink it up full ink, and then we're going to do some more watercoloring. So I already have a little bit of a pool of ink right here, and I'm going to grab that aqua painter again. Now when you get the aqua painters, it comes in a 2-pack, one with a small brush and one with a larger brush. I'm using the smaller brush out of the pack. And I'm picking up that yellow Daffodil Delight. And what I like to do is go around the outside perimeter and then just start filling in. And then I will do the other side. And unless you're using the watercolored paper, you really don't want to go over this too much or else it will start to pill. But I do kind of like a little bit of texture because it is a moon and the moon has texture. All right, I'm ready to punch out my moon. So I'm taking my 1 3/8 inch circle punch. Again, this is the old whale tail style. It's no longer comes this way. There's my moon. And I already have my pumpkins cut out for me. So the first thing I'm going to do is take some snail and mount those pumpkins onto my Peekaboo Peach. And I'm going to take that Whisper White matte and mount my brick wall. I'm actually going to use Fast Fuse for this because there's so much dimension. I really want to make sure it sticks well. Now taking the base of my card, folding it in half and using my bone folder to get a nice crease. You can pop this up with dimensionals or you can lay it flat. On my sample card, I did lay it flat because I had a little bit of other dimension going on. So I'm going to do the same thing here, and I'm going to take some Fast Fuse again because it is stronger and I have a few layers on the front of my card here. Now it's time to make that fun tag. I love this so much. I'm bringing in my Scalloped Tag Topper punch, and because this is exactly 2 inches wide, it just fits right in there nice and neat, and punch it down, and there is your tag top. I love it. Now I'm taking the fun little bats, and I'm going to mount those onto my B block. Now, they do have a certain direction. If you can see it, this little bat's wings go upside down because his tiny itty bitty little ears are on the top. So I'm going to put him there, and I'm going to do both at the same time. Just kind of angle those on. And then I'm going to take my basic black and I'm going to stamp off the side, and I'm just kind of making a little border. We'll do one more guy over here. Now I'm going to grab my sentiment, the one that says Trick or Treat, mount that on my B block as well, basic black, and stamp that wherever you'd like, but I want mine up towards the top. Now I'm ready to adhere my pumpkins to my tag. So I have a few scraps here. I'm just going to use these up really quickly. I love dimension and I don't want any part of this getting flat. So that's why I put so much on there. I love it. All right, so I'm going to center that kind of down in the bottom area. And now it's time to make our tassel with our fun baker's twine. Love it so much. So I'm going to grab this between my thumb and my index finger, spread out my other fingers, and just do a few wraps. Doesn't need a whole bunch, just maybe like 5 or 6. Or 7 or 8, depending on how full you want your tassel. So I have both of my cut edges here at the top, and I'm going to just kind of fold those in half and feed half of it through, like so. And then I will find my loops again. And now I have both of the loops on my finger. So I'm going to grab that between my fingers so that I can cut these. And then if you'd like, you can just take one of those strings, just gently tug that out without getting the rest, and then you'll be able to tie it. What I like to do is make a slip knot. So to do that, I am just going to put one wrap around my finger, and then I'm going to tuck that tail into the loop I just made, pull that loop through, and there's my slip knot. So now I can put that around my tassel. And I like to try and get it as tight as possible. And that's why I love this slip knot, because I can hold these in my fingers, and with my other fingers I can manipulate it and just tighten it right up. Now if you left yourself enough, you would be able to tie a bow. I didn't leave myself enough on this one, so I think we're just going to let those hang loose and free. Now we're ready to put that onto our card front. So I am going to pop that up with some more dimensionals. And again, I'm just going to use some of the scraps that I have left over here. I am going to angle this slightly over on the left side of the card. And I like it when it goes off of the frame. Right here. And now for the moon, we'll pop that up with dimensional as well. And I like to put the dotted side away from the card, so it's up in the right-hand corner. And there we go. You still could put this in a normal envelope and mail it, but it would be a little hard with all of this fluff here. So I would recommend putting it into a special mailer or delivering this card by hand. And there we go. That is my fun Halloween card for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this project. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. Leave a comment and let me know what you think or what your favorite part of this card was. And you can also get these supplies starting September 1st at melissascreations.com. Click on Shop Now. You can download the catalog there, and you can also be taken directly to my website, melissascreations.stampinup.net, to purchase any of these materials. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching my video today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed today's project using the Spooky Fun Halloween stamp set from the new 2016 holiday catalog, available for customers to purchase from on September 1st. If you don't have a demonstrator, I would love it if you came and shopped with me. You can find the products that you saw today starting September 1st at my website, melissascreations.stampinup.net, and you can also gain some inspiration and ideas by following me on my Facebook page, facebook.com/mcreations. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.